Happy video day, guys. Today's video, we are going to be diving into the world of Hourglass. I am going to be testing for the very first time for you guys the brand new launch for holiday. So this is called the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Universe palette. So you know that they released two of these this year. So there is this one, and I believe the other one's called the Unlocked. I will put it up on the screen. So the other one is for deeper skin tones, and this one is for a light medium skin tone. So I ended up picking up this one. This is obviously the one that would work on my skin tone. So this is the one that I can really give you guys the best review on. It's retailing for $75 US. Sephora did have an early access for Rouge members to be able to purchase this, but I believe pretty soon it will be on their website. I'll put all the details down below if you guys are interested in purchasing this palette. But in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts. We'll be going over it. I'll be doing some comparisons. I do have some thoughts on this palette. I don't think it's going to be in line with maybe every review that you have seen, but this is just going to be my personal opinion, and I do really want you guys to get the best for your money. So we're gonna talk about some stuff. So if you guys are not subscribed already, I would love it if you would want to hit subscribe and join the family. I would love to see you again, and hopefully you want to see me again. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it right now. So the palette looks like this. It's actually really pretty. I love the marbleized casing that it comes in this year. It's a little tricky to open, to be honest, because it is a magnet, but if I keep trying to pull it up from here and you have to hold it from the bottom and pull it up. But I do think it looks pretty. I like the casing. It's so much better than the Ghost palette was. I think that this one at least looks more luxurious and it's cute. You know, it's a nice casing. Nothing out of this world, but definitely looks pretty. I love the setup. I love the mirror. I love the way that the different powders are placed, and I think it's just a really pretty all-together palette. And I do also really appreciate that they did come out with two versions of this palette this year in order to cater for different skin tones. So Hourglass did do a few different things. So in this palette you are getting, so this one right here is a finishing powder, and it's called Infinity Powder. Then you have a strobe blush in Vibrant Heat. Then you have a bronzer called Glistening Bronze Light. Then you have another blush, and this one right here is called Luminous Rose. Then finally we have a strobe powder, and this one is called Supernatural Strobe Light. So those are the different products you're getting in here. You're actually getting 5 different products, and I am going to try this for you guys and give you guys my thoughts. Now, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts based off of my preferences. So first, let's go ahead and get into me demoing it. I think you guys will probably see some of my reaction on some of these products, and then maybe you'll kind of get an idea of where we're going with this video. So let's get into the demo. I'll show you guys how I applied it and what was the results. Okay guys, we are zoomed in. I have my face of makeup done. I don't have powder, I don't have bronzer, and I don't have blush or any of that stuff yet. That's what we're going to use the Hourglass product for. So I'm actually really excited. This is the first time I've opened it. I have not opened it yet. First time will be with you guys on camera. So it comes in, obviously, this gold packaging that says Hourglass, and then like this, and then let's see what it looks like. I don't even know what it's gonna... Oh, it's pretty. Oh, that's so pretty. It looks like a marbleized casing. That looks really, really pretty. And actually it feels pretty heavy duty as well. This is kind of what I expect from Hourglass, to be honest. This is what I expect. This is so much better than that Ghost packaging, which is the only other one that I have. It actually feels like a tin, but it has like an elevated tin feel to it, and it is magnetic. Yeah, you know, I like this. I think it's a pretty packaging. Like, it's not like extremely luxurious, but there is something very luxurious about the packaging. I love the brushed nickel kind of like interior. That's really, really pretty. And I like it. I will be okay with this. I think it's very pretty. I like the size of the mirror as well. So let's look at these colors. Let's look at these colors. Ooh. Okay, so obviously this is the lighter skinned one. There's also going to be one for medium to deep skin tones, which was awesome that they released this in 2 different versions. This actually looks like it would be pretty good for me. I have a light medium skin tone, so I can kind of like jump between the two when it comes to Hourglass. Hourglass, usually their stuff is actually really light for my skin tone. So let's go ahead and let's play. So I'm excited. Actually, you know, it's so funny. It is a little complicated to open this. I keep wanting to grab it from here and pull open, but it actually doesn't have an edge, so you have to hold it from the bottom. So that's gonna confuse me. Not used to that. So let's start off with the finishing powder. Let's start off with the finishing powder, and let's just put that on the skin just to see if I can mattify the skin. I'll do it on one side so you guys can see the difference. They really do have beautiful powders. Their powders are really incredible. I really do love them. So if you guys can see, only this side of my face has it and this side doesn't. I see a noticeable difference in person. This side looks very mattified and almost finished, whereas this side is a little bit more greasy looking, and you could tell that I haven't like set anything down. I love Hourglass for that. So let's go ahead and just add that to the other side. Okay, so, here is the face. Now, I think it looks beautiful. However, there's a little thing that I'm not too in love with, and actually it's making me kind of like go, oh gosh, I did not know this. There's glitters in this finishing powder right here. And in all my other Hourglass powders, I don't see like that finishing powder that has glitter. Can you guys see it on camera? They're like very small glitters, and I literally will see them like right here. There's one, there's here one, here. Like I have little tiny bits of glitter on my face. And when I use my other Hourglass powders, what I love about them is they're so smooth and amazing that there is no glitters and anything like that. And this one is a glittery powder. So, I don't know how much I would actually grab for this finishing powder for all over the face, because I don't really like glittery particles. I think you guys have heard me say that before. Okay, so that's not starting off too well. And now this other one here on the bottom, it also has some glitters in it. So I'm just gonna grab into the bronzer on its own and use that and see if it bronzes up the skin. Actually, that's looking like it's doing a pretty decent bronzing job. I'm only gonna do one side of my face so you guys can see. A finishing powder with glitter in it. I wonder why they did that. So the bronzer looks great. Look at that. So you guys can see the difference. The bronzer is actually coming off really good, actually better than most of these Hourglass bronzers. And this bronzer is actually in the color Glistening Bronze Light, and I think that's the color I love in here. So this one is Bronze Light, so it's the same color as inside of this palette here, which I'm obsessed with. It's just a little glistening, so I guess they did put some glitters in this one too, even though I don't see it. So this bronzer works really well for me. I wish I would have known it was the same exact one that I already have. I really like it in the Volume 2 palette. It's super, super good. So yeah, that's a great bronzer. I don't see the glisteniness inside the bronzer as much as I see it in that finishing powder. But you guys can see how bronze I got. It did an amazing bronzing job. So definitely, I think if you have a light medium skin tone, you could benefit from this bronzer. I'm wondering if you're very fair, if this is going to be too dark for you, to be honest. Like maybe if you go very light-handed, but look how well it worked on my skin tone. So I'm wondering if you're very fair, if this is going to be like very warm. I haven't seen any reviews yet, so I want to see somebody who has very fair skin. But if you're light medium, definitely will give you a nice bronzed look. And maybe you don't even have to go as ham as me, because right here I can tell I put too much on. Usually Hourglass doesn't show up that well in my skin, so this is a great bronzer. This one here also has glitters in it. Now what I'm thinking is that if you have a fairer skin tone, you might want to like mix these two together. That's probably what will make it die down and not be as bronze. So if you have a medium skin tone, you might want to just use this one by itself. And if you have a light skin tone, you might want to just mix them. And that'll probably create that beautiful like lighter bronze color for you. But like for me, it would be just another finishing powder. And in reality, it has glitter in it as well. I feel like you're gonna look a little bit like a light bulb when you're done with this. And what I like about Hourglass is when you don't look like a light bulb, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do the blush. Let's do one blush on one cheek. Wow, that's super pigmented. Look at that. Wow, so that's very pigmented for Hourglass as well. Actually, probably even more pigmented than I would like when it comes to a blush. That's super, super bright, and it's a very pretty color. I think on me, I like them to be a little bit more toned down, so I'm probably gonna like this blush just a tad bit more. Yeah, that's a little bit more my style when it comes to blush. You guys can see it's just a little bit less toned than the other one. This one's very pink, and this one's like a little bit more like rosy, a little bit more like skin toned, and it just gives you like that blush look, but it doesn't give you like that really pink blush look. So this is one of the blushes, and here is the other one. Of course, you could always mix them both together. That's usually what I would do because, like I said, I don't really love the really strong blushes, so mixing them together would dye them down and make something probably just like in between that I would probably enjoy more. And that's what it looks like. Oh, the glitter. That's the only thing that has me. The rest of this looks really pretty. I really love the bronzing. I think the bronzing worked really good on my skin tone. I think the blushes worked really nice, and I think even mixed together, they're probably going to be even prettier. I don't mind the finishing powder, but I hate that it has glitter in it. And then also this one that they gave us also has glitter in it. And then this one, the bronzer, has supposedly, I think the bronzer also says that it has a little bit of glitter in it, but it's not as noticeable as this and this. That's the only thing that has me a little bothered. But this is the final face of makeup. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and let me get into my thoughts. So you guys saw the demo. I think you guys will notice the biggest problem for me personally. There is glitter in this palette, and I mean like there's substantial glitter. I am looking at myself and I feel like my face looks very pretty, but I see misplaced glitters all over my face, and I really don't like that. Now, typically a finishing powder would be placed all over your skin to kind of like even out everything and just do it at the end, like it's your finishing powder. What I don't like about this finishing powder is it adds all this glitter to your skin, so I don't really love that. And I probably would say that I don't know if everybody would want to use this as a finishing powder or to put it all over your skin. It's almost like it would be better as a highlight, but it doesn't even have enough oomph to be a highlight. So for me, it's almost like questionable if whether I would ever use this really, because I like a more mattified yet glistening skin, but that it doesn't have glitter. Like, I don't want the emphasis to be the glitter. I want it to just look luminous. And I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. So then when it comes to the blushes, I honestly think the blushes are one of the most beautiful thing in this entire palette. I love that they have two different shades here. They're very different in tone. You've got your vibrant blush in this one. This is beautiful, very, very pink. And then you have this one that's a little bit more rosy, a little bit more calmed down. And then of course you can mix them together and create a beautiful blush. Now, another thing to note, there's a little bit of glitter inside these blushes as well. I don't feel like I saw as much glitter particles as I did when I put on this finishing powder, but then again, the finishing powder might have finished me. You know, like when I put it on, it probably just added so much glitter that glitter on top of glitter and glitter and glitter and glitter everywhere, you know? So I don't know how much I love that there's glitters in these as well. So it's almost like if you were gonna give us something with a lot of glitter, why did these have to have glitter in it? Or why wasn't this just a normal finishing powder and these have a little glitter in them? I mean, or one with, one without. So these two actually have little tiny speckles of glitter in them, and you kind of see them, not as much as you do with this finishing powder. When it comes to the bronzer doesn't have glitters that I can see, at least not very pronounced ones. There may be some in there, but the bronzer does an amazing job on my skin tone for Hourglass. Hourglass, typically I have the hardest time having anything show up on my skin, and it just doesn't, it's too light. So I typically will skip out on these type of palettes. I have more of a yellow, olivey undertoned skin because I am Hispanic. So it's a little bit harder for these type of powders to show up if they don't actually have like a good pigment. And this one showed up really nice. So I'm happy with this one on my skin tone. And then this powder right here, to be honest, may be a waste as well for me because it also has as many glitters as this one right here. And if I just didn't want to use this powder and use this as a finishing powder, I still wouldn't do that because I feel like it has too much glitter. So I think I know what you guys are thinking. I don't like this palette. The truth is I don't dislike this palette. I like parts of this palette, but I don't love this palette. I feel like for $75, oh God, I wish I loved this, you know? And I like the formulas. I think the formulas are very beautiful, very silky, very glidey. But if you're somebody who doesn't like glitter, I mean, I don't really care how great your formulas are if you're going to get glitter all over your skin. And I feel like I have a lot of glitter on my skin, and that's not really what I was aiming for. And I wasn't really expecting either. I would say that formula-wise, beautiful. Blushes, gorgeous. Bronzer actually shows up and does a very, very beautiful job on the skin, and it works really well. Now, do you like glitter? Do you care if you have glitter particles on your skin? If you do care about that, skip this. Like, run for the hills and do not buy this, okay? If you do not care about that and you actually like it when you have little particles of glitter on your skin, then you might love this. You might think that this is amazing because the formulas are there. The formulas are there. I do really like the formulas, but I am not a huge fan of all those glitters. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really wish you guys could see it, but like, maybe if I turn my face in like different directions, maybe you will see like the glitters kind of like catch in the light. And you know, I like more of a finished face look that's a little bit more mattified, and I like the luminosity look, but just not with glitter. So I'll show you guys the palette that I prefer from Hourglass. It's this one. You guys can see how much I have used this. This has gone through the ringer. So if you want to try a palette from Hourglass that's actually like really good as a finishing powder and also a bronzer, this is better. So these are the ambient palettes, and they are coming out with one this year for deep skin tones, which is phenomenal because everybody should be able to have these palettes. I honestly think that these are probably just a better buy because I feel like I would get more use out of this than even this one that has the blushes. You know, I just feel like this is more useful for me. Look how much I've used it. Usually what I'll do is I jump into these two and kind of mix them together and put them all over my skin, and then just throw a little bit of bronzer on, or sometimes I just go into all three and put it all over the skin. Amazing job. There's no glitters in these powders. So these powders literally make your skin look moved over, and it doesn't give you any accentuation of texture, which sometimes glitter and things that actually like glitter and strobe things can do. This one doesn't do that. It gives you a beautiful, flawless skin look. So I would say this is the one I like, Bronze Light. This is volume 2. If you have a light medium skin tone, this works amazing. There's also the fairer one, and now there's going to be a deeper one. I would say this is a better buy for like everyday use if you are like me. And if they were to release, which we don't know yet, maybe they will, a quad of blushes, it would probably be a better buy. Like this for these two products and this one, which I kind of already have because it's the same bronzer as this, only supposedly this one's glistening and this one is flat, it's not glistening. So I really wanted to love this. And it's kind of like hard for me to say this, but I think like if I were to go back in time, I probably would not pick this up again because I just don't think that it's my aesthetic when it comes to how much glitter and glisteniness it's in it. If you guys had picked up the Ghost palette, and this is the only other palette from Hourglass that I picked up, I actually like the, you see I'm having a hard time opening this because of where the magnet is. I actually like the richness of this palette more than the Ghost. So you guys can see them side by side. You could see the difference, right? The difference is that this one actually has a more rich tone to it, whereas this one was a little lighter. The powders in here, like these powders for me were just too light, like they didn't do much for me. And then the bronzer actually did not come out on my skin at all. I don't even know which one this was. Eternal Bronze Light did not work good for me. This one here, Bronze Light, was so much better. So the bronzer in this works better for me. The blushes are prettier in this one than this one. I personally prefer this palette. However, matte. Why is this so glistening? So I think you guys know what I'm saying. I don't love it for me, but I do think it has a beautiful formula. So I guess it would depend on your taste. If this didn't have glitter in it, this would be like an all-star palette. Like it would have been so beautiful. Like you don't even know. Like I think this would have been beautiful without the glitter. Why does it have so much glitter? That's my opinion on it. Obviously, I'm going to use it a few more times and see if these glitters continue to bother me. But considering even the Pat McGrath blushes, the ones that had the glitter on it, kind of annoyed me, I don't see how this would not annoy me. But I probably, I'll do is the next time I probably would not use this as a finishing powder all over the face because I already know I don't like it like that. I'll stick with the blushes and the bronzers and kind of play with it a different way. But yeah, that is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys feel like me? Did you guys pick this up? Did you see the same thing as me? Leave your comments for your friends down below. Start a discussion. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.